Bezat Hashem, we're back at the Limud from Sefer HaShem. Today is the 13th of the month of Shvat, Tuesday, the third day of the week of Parshat Shabbat Itro. Parshat Itro. Bezat Hashem, so we continue, as we said yesterday, והשמועה הראשונה של קריאת ים סוף, השפעתה הייתה מעט, רק בכדי לגייר עצמו לבד. So according to one opinion that says over here that all three were here, all three that Itro heard, all three elements, as we said yesterday, the Kriyat Yamsuf, the war of Amalek, the splitting of the sea, and basically the kingdom was given over to the Jewish people, nation. All of those three, as we said yesterday, had an influence on Itro to become Ger. So continues the rabbi, but the first one that he saw, that he heard about Kriyat Yamsuf, that had an influence on him to become a ger only. As it says over there, when Itro is praising Hashem, that he's saying that Lashon Nezid Ubishul. First of all, Itro says to Moshe Rabbeinu, I heard that the Egyptians were punished from the way that they were trying to harm you. That's the literal translation of the pasuk over there. Like, for instance, we know that the Egyptians drowned in the water. Why? Because they were drowning the children in the water. As we know from Moshe Rabbeinu, he was thrown into the basket into the water, because that was the law in Egypt, to throw everybody into the water, obviously without a basket, but the Jewish mother cannot let it go. So since the Egyptians didn't know that Moshe Rabbeinu existed, she came up with a basket to save him, like a basket flown, but that flows. But the Egyptians, when they grabbed the kids, they were throwing them in the ocean, into the sea, into the Nile, the Nile River. They were just like that, and they were drowning. So Hashem actually punished them. That's what Itro says. The same way the Egyptians wanted to inflict the Jewish people, Hashem inflicted them back the same way. Lashon Nezid Ubishul. What does that mean? That it's a language of Nezid Ubishul. Nezid. Where else do we see the word Nezid? By Yaakov Avinu, right? Nezid Adashim. It says over there in Bereshit that Yaakov Avinu was preparing the lentil soup. So over here, the same concept that the Egyptians were preparing, they were cooking. What they were really cooking? They were cooking their own end. Midah keneged midah. Kadosh Baruch Hu punished them the same way that they were harming the Jewish children at the time where the Pharaoh decreed for all children to be thrown into the river. שחשבו המצרים אלוהיהם של אלו נשבע שלא יביא מבול מים לעולם, because in reality the whole world knew Torah, and the whole world knew God's promise that he will never drown the world again. So the Egyptians made a calculation, and they said, what did they say? Here, we're going to drown the Jewish children, because the God of Jews, that follow the Jews that follow him, he will not punish us, because the only way to kill us is to bring and drown us. So another element, as we see today, as we know that this is how the governments are actually bought. What does that mean? Today, how do you control governments? You bring them into enticement. Like here in America, Mr. Didi and Mr. Epstein, they were busy getting all the government officials to let them have full enjoyment of their physical desires, right? With different girls, with underage girls, with raping, with whatever, with all different immoralities. And the main reason was that once you have everybody involved in the morality, the protection of heavenly court is deceased from there. Today, the most unfortunate thing, but many people don't understand, that we are also living this through today. Why? We have so many Jews, I'm talking about religious Jews, they're talking so many vicious things. They don't understand that they have been exposed. And the entire element of Goy is to expose the Jew to immorality a little bit, just a little bit, just have a taste of it. And in the end, many things are falling apart, because you don't understand that was a little taste just to keep you away from the reality. Here, the Egyptians got every Egyptian involved in what? Calling their friends and their neighbors. Everyone had to call in. What did Paro do? Paro realized that amongst the Egyptians, there were also Jews who were hidden amongst the Egyptians. Because Yosef HaTzadik was a very bright person, and he made it so that when the Jewish people come to Egypt, they will not be exercised, they will not be different from the Goyim, and so he made a lot of Goyim make the circumcision, he moved them around, he made a lot of things that the Jewish people will be like going with the flow. And Paro realized that, so what did he do? He made all Egyptians, so he made a decree. At first he said, all the Jewish boys throw into the river. And then he declared, no, okay, every Jewish boy, every boy that's born in Egypt, including the Goyim, meaning there was a lot of assimilation, as we know. That's unfortunately the common thing with the Jewish nation, that we like to assimilate, that we love to be partners, we love buddyhood, we love to be friends with our neighbor. It's implanted in us. But unfortunately, it has also a negative effect that we're becoming like them. So Paro had said, you know what? Let's kill every boy that's born. Everybody here? Hello, Zohar, Eliyahu. Okay, I merged you. You there, Eliyahu?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, very good. So I merged you. So here, the element of Paro was that he knows. The fact is that when you get a person to taste evil, the heavenly spheres and the heavenly protection is dissipating. So Paro decreed that all the boys should be killed. In the end, what was that reason? The reason was that in the mind of the Egyptians, that HaShem is now have to punish the entire Egypt. So they decreed, the reason why they did this, they were in their mind saying, since there's only one way to destroy the Egypt, and the only one way that he miscalculated, he forgot that Sdom Amorah was actually burned. There was a fire coming down from heaven, and Hashem flipped the whole Sdom Amorah. But Paro disregarded that. Paro went straight to the punishment of Mabul. What was the punishment of Mabul? Why wasn't he worried about the punishment of Sdom? Right? Rabbi Eliyahu Zohar. Is that a beautiful question? Paro made an analogy. Paro said that we're going to kill the Jewish children with drowning them, and this way Hashem will not drown us just because he swore that he will never bring Mabul into the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how come he was not afraid? He was not afraid of burning like Sdom. And it says Hashem sent fire from the heaven to burn down the Sdom. So how come Paro was not afraid of that? Anybody has an idea? No. The reason is like this. According to Zohar, the biggest sin, the main sin of the Dor of Mabul, the generation of flood, was the same sin we have today. The main sin we have today, everything is repeating itself. Why do we need so many children in the world? You'll be surprised. I was sitting in Sudash Lishit. In some shuls, people talk like that. There are too many people in the world. Today, you will be surprised. You're going to hear people learning Torah, people praying 3 times a day, coming to shul, observing Shabbat. They have that problem instilled in them. The world cannot survive with too many people. And that was exactly the same problem. So what did they do? The Zohar says in the Dor of Mabul, since they had so many children, remember every intercourse brought a child or 2 or 3 or even 5. Depends what was the blessing. Whatever goes into the egg. There was a big population boost. Over, as I said already many times, before Mabul, before the flood, there were at least minimum tens of trillions of people in the world, in this world that we know. And they were upset that there were so many children. They're starting to curb that. So the Zohar says they started to find ways to get rid of the children. And one of the biggest things was that they were spilling sperm no longer into the woman, just for fun, like today. Today, men are brainwashed to desire another man. Why is the media is promoting that? Why is the entire television movies, shows. They have teenager boys already. From that age, they're already teaching what is a boy-boy relationship. I came into the doctor's office and I show
In New York City, it's in the curriculum.
forget about the curriculum.
Everybody has to take the LGBT class.
Right, Zor, I understand that. But you know, a class in the school is one thing, which I have a less problem of class in the school because over there nobody pays attention and it's ridiculous. What my biggest concern is movies, cartoons.
No, Rabbi, it's not. It's a specific class for that.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
They're planting.
Yes, they started that from 5 years old. Zor, I understand.
Think about it.
It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing, but much worse is the movies, the cartoons. A show. I walked into a doctor's office and there was a show at 3 o'clock, I don't know, afternoon or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't remember exactly. And there was a show. A boy likes boy. Oh, I have no feelings for women, for girls, I have feelings. And they talk about it and they act and they mamash. Why? Why are they doing that? It's a plan of obviously depopulation. It's a plan of not having more children. It's a plan of this disastrous thought. So they were destroying the next generation. And that's what Paro was doing. So Paro said, I'm not going to worry about Sodom Amorah. Because we're not doing the sin of Sodom Amorah here. We're going, and we're not worried that Hashem is going to, because Hashem works with Midah, Kineged Midah. Hashem does act the way you act to Him. So in the generation of Mabul, they were destroying the next generation. Same took Paro over here, destroying the next generation. So he made a calculation which was wrong. Says Paro, Zadu. What does that mean, Zadu? They were planning to kill you with liquid. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved millions of children in Egypt. And therefore Paro, Itro was so amazed that Hashem got back to Paro the same way. What did he do? He brought out the entire Egypt populace to go to the sea, and they're all drowned over there. לכן, גזרו כל הבן הירוד, the Shavuot came, לא ידעו, and they didn't know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to bring on them what? Not that Hashem brought on them flood, they came to the flood to be flooded. You understand what's going on here? וזהו גם מידה כנגד מידה. That was the מידה כנגד מידה. כמו שכתוב כי בא סוס פרעה ברכבו ופרשיו בים וישב השם עליהם את מי הים. As it says over there, that Paro went into the ocean, into the sea on his own will, on his own free will, and he got drowned, believing that he will not. The entire Egypt got drowned. And again, a few things that want to come out. And I just want to conclude over here that the main thing is understanding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by Him, there is nothing uncalculated for, nothing unaccounted for. The Goyim, they know that. Today, you have to understand, the world is ran by Zohar. It says by not some people, Amalek. The Zohar says Amalek will be taking over the rulership of the world. Primary idea. What is Amalek? Amalek is all about Bilbul. Amalek is all about mixing up people, mixing understanding. We don't know. Is bringing doubt into the life of humans. And how do we know that America is in the leadership role? In the leadership role is from, if you remember, the evil lady. Her name is Miss Jackson. The evilness of this people, and they will tell you up front that they don't care about mixing us all up, mixing the reality. She was appointed to be one of the Supreme Court justices of America, and she was asked point blank by a woman, what is a woman? And her answer was, I am not a biologist. A woman asking a woman, what are you? What is a woman? And she's answering, I'm not a biologist, so I'm not going to answer that question.
Rabbi, I'm sorry to interrupt. Rabbi, are you in Maple Ridge or?
I'm in my house, yes. The garage is open. We're here, we're learning. If you want to come, I brought Brachok Israel also for myself. I don't know if you have Brachok Israel. I'll take a picture. Anyway, so understand what's going on here. The understanding is the doubt that is being brought and introduced to the world is for one purpose and one purpose only, to get in the same level where Paro, is we know that what's the best source of not feeling bad when you are harmed? Unfortunately, when others are harmed around you. And that's what the Goyim are trying to establish, and that's where a Jew has to stay away from, and B'ezrat Hashem, protect himself, his family. Obviously, nothing goes without praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, without asking for Siyata D'Shmaya. And with this, we will conclude now. Hopefully, we'll continue in Yirat Sefer Yirat Hashem tomorrow with Hashem's help. Baruch Adonai Olam Amen. I mean, whoever needs to make parnasah, you have to go to work, you should be successful without any problems. We're going to continue now in Elachot, I believe, Shabbat. Okay.